First of all, the point at which the marble has its maximum potential energy during the ride is at the highest point, which is the beginning, right here. This is because potential energy is equal to mass times gravity times height, and since this is the highest height, it will also have the highest potential energy. Next, the point at which the marble has the maximum kinetic energy is at the lowest point, which is at the end of the roller coaster. This is because potential energy and kinetic energy, due to the law of conservation of energy, will be transferred into one another, and so the highest point, at the highest point there will be the most potential energy, and throughout the ride the energy is transferred until at the lowest point the marble has no more potential energy and has all kinetic energy, and so that is why the marble has the most kinetic energy at the bottom of the ride. Finally, the marble also has its maximum speed at the bottom of the ride because kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 mass times velocity squared. Since the mass of the marble does not change, velocity is the only variable that could affect this. And since the marble has its highest kinetic energy at the bottom of the ride, its mass does not change, and so its velocity must also be at its highest point at the bottom of the ride. Up here is our first descent and also our first loop. Halfway down our first descent, right here, our marble reaches a speed of 6.047 meters per second. Next, it continues down into another loop, at the top of which it reaches a speed of 5.53 meters per second. Next, the ride continues into a turn, and it reaches a hill, at the top of which it has a speed of 4.094 meters per second. Finally, the marble continues down the hill into a final loop and down and finishes at the bottom of a track.